for our test. So we're going to be in Module 3 on page 73 of your math workbook. We're going to do page 73 together with the video, and then I'm going to ask you, normally I don't do this, but I'm going to ask you to do page 74 on your own, just to get a little bit more practice with creating those equations and solving the problem. And then I want you to take a picture and send that to me, and we may be talking about that. So let's look at number 1. Draw a visual model and write a pair of equations to show why multiplication and division are inverse operations. Remember, the inverse operations are the opposite. So if I'm multiplying, the opposite of that would be dividing. They undo each other. So let's just draw a simple array. To draw a visual model and write a pair of equations to show why multiplication and division are inverse operations. So really, there's no right or wrong answer here. You can create your own equations. So I'm actually going to create my equation first. I'm going to say 3 times 4 equals 12. To do that, I'm going to draw an array. I'm going to say that I had 3 groups, or 3 rows, and 4 in each. Okay, and that represents 3 times 4 equals 12. The inverse operation of that would be division. So to divide, I'm going to take my larger quantity or my larger number, and I'm going to say 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Now I'm going to create my visual model. So I'm going to draw the same array. Now, if I leave it like that, it's still representing 3 times 4. I need to show 12 divided by 4. So to do that, I'm going to say that I have 4 in each group. So I'm going to divide those up into 3 groups. That will show 12 divided by 4 equals 3. All right, let's look at number 2. How can you interpret the meaning of the equation 30 equals 3 times 10 as a comparison? So here they give us an equation. They want us to turn it into a comparison sentence. Remember those key words that we've talked about in Module 3. So I know I'm using multiplication. That's my operation. So I know that my key words have to be a number times as many. Well, I can see right now, I can mark out A and B because they're not using the correct key words. So now I need to look at C and D. 30 equals 3 times 10. So I have 10 is 3 times as many as 30, or 30 is. Now remember we said that the word is represents equal. So what they're saying here is 10 is equal to 3 times 30. So that's 10 is equal to 3 times 30. We know, looking at that equation, that is not a true equation. So our answer is going to be D. And if I write that out as equation, it would be 30 is equal to 3 times as many as 10. And that matches the equation in our question. So D is the correct answer. Number 3, Diane waits 6 minutes in line to buy movie tickets. Josh waits in line 4 times as long as Diane. Let M equal the number of minutes that Josh waits in line. Select all the equations that can be used to find M. This is important. Select all the equations. That tells me right there's going to be more than one correct answer. You need to pay close attention to those questions on the test. If you see the word all the equations or select all the equations, that's your key to know that there are more than one answer that you can look from. So let's look at the problem again. Diane waits 6 minutes in line to buy a movie ticket. Josh waits in line 4 times as long. And then M is the number of minutes that Josh stood in line. So we don't know M, that's our unknown number. So looking at that, I know that B would be the correct answer. But remember it says all the equations, so there's more. Well, A is using a plus sign, so I know that won't work. C is using a subtraction sign. E is using a plus sign. D is using repeated addition. but we're not doing it enough times. We're only adding four times instead of 6 times. And then F. F is another possible answer. 4 times 6. All you're doing there is flipping the factors of the multiplication equation, and they will still give you the same answer. All right, and let's look at number 4. Jake has 40 pencils. That is 8 times as many as the pens he has. How many pens does Jake have? Tell what strategy or tool you will use to answer the question. Explain your choice and find the answer. So we know that Jake has 40 pencils. It's 8 times as many as the pens he has. How many pens does Jake have? Well, he has 40 pencils, 8 times as many pens, so we've got to find out how the smaller number of pens that he has than pencils. So to do that, I'm going to divide. So I'm going to say 40 divided by 8. Now I can do this several ways. Some of you know your division facts and you can just solve the problem. Some of you don't. So we can go back to what we did. And we can go back into number 1 and we can draw out an array. So if you would like to on your paper, you can draw an array and you can show equal groups. If we do that, your answer should come to 5. Now, I want you to make sure that you go to the back, page 74, and I want you to complete that page on your own. Then I would like for you to take a picture, send it to me, and then I will look over it for you. So on the back, page 74, it says to write equations, and I can flip to it for you. Write equations to model and solve the problem. Use letters for the unknowns. So again, looking for the keywords. Remember. Oh, let me go back to my drawing tool. Give me just a second. Okay, there we go. Remember to look for keywords. So we see the word more. We see 3 times as many. And read this problem as many times as you need to. You're going to be writing an equation for Riley and Jordan. So complete 5 through 8 for me. Take a picture of it and send it in with your assignment, and I'll check for it. Make sure you take your time and you answer these questions carefully.